Okay guys, this is a reading blog for, I don't know how to pose with it, like Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Okay, basically, I ordered this on Amazon and it's literally the collector's first edition, the British version. It has like this, like illustrations, this. I'm not going to show you all of them because I don't have time for that. So yeah, I'm going to start reading it and I will tell you like my comments while I'm reading it, obviously. So yeah, I hope you like this reading blog. I'm very excited for like Chain of Iron, like very. I just read the book because I wasn't sure if I had read it. I think I had read it like a long time ago and I was like shocked with it. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen in this book? It's so exciting, so I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so yesterday I read like 2 chapters, no, like 1 chapter and the prologue, and basically what happens is that Anna like good appears. That's only no, I'm kidding. In the prologue, basically I think it's Belial for the context. He has like a human form and he's going for his enemies and says James Helendale, Cordelia Custers, you know, it's like, oh my fucking god. And then in the first chapter, like the following day is going to be like the wedding of Cordelia and James. And so basically, first of all, Lucy and Grace have been cooperating or whatever to like try to resurrect Jesse. And they are doing it with science, but like Grace says, this isn't working, so we have to use necromancy. And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. We know how that always goes wrong, first of all. And second of all, we see like Cordelia's point of view, and she's basically preparing for her bachelorette party, even though she doesn't know it's going to be her bachelorette party yet. So she's preparing for a party, and then Matthew appears and he says, yeah, it's your bachelorette's party. He brings her to like the place, I don't remember how it's called, but like the bar where in Chain of Gold she made like the performance with Cortana and the story and dancing and that stuff. So, and it's where Hypatia Vex works basically. So there's that, and she goes there, and there's Lucy and there's Anna, and I was like, I don't like it. And I basically like highlighted 2 things. First of all, some things that Matthew says because I think Matthew's funny. And then I literally just like highlighted something that Cordelia says, but then I like it. Gorgeous as always. I love and I like it, as you can see. So yeah, that's all, I think. And that like Matthew was seeing a guy, I don't know, and he was like kissing him, and then Anna says like, yeah, he used to date this guy but he broke Matthew's heart, he shouldn't be going with him or something like that. And I was like, Anna, tell them you being preoccupied for Matthew, the best thing in the world. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading. Okay, so update. Basically what has happened, the wedding, but like before that, like Grace, I actually like Grace, like I can understand her. She was like going to talk to James before the wedding. I think it's to tell him to like get the bracelet off, and I was like,
yeah, Matthew convinces James to not talk to Grace because, like, obviously they think she's like bad and she has like broken his heart and all that, so it makes sense, but I don't know. And then like Grace is waiting for James, and then like Tatiana has possessed a maid, and I was like, fuck, what the actual fuck is happening? And Tatiana's like, hey, you have to stay controlling James, we're watching you, whatever. And I was like, no, shut up, shut the fuck up. And then it's a wedding, and yeah, I don't know, they kiss obviously because it's the wedding. Then like Cordelia's father is like kinda mad because he hasn't had a role more important in the wedding. It's like, you weren't there for her all this time, and like you just appeared this morning, didn't even know that you were going to come, like whatever. And so he gets mad, and Alastair and James get him to like a room, and there's like a confrontation between the Murray thieves and Alastair, especially between Matthew and Thomas and Alastair. James kinda too, but like I don't know. Then Ariadne basically says to Anna like, do you want to talk or whatever or something like that, and it's like, no, fuck you. No. And Magnus is also there, and James played the violin in the wedding, and I was like, oh. And I don't know, James and Cordelia are going to go to their house, to their new house that like James has like chosen. So yeah, that's another thing to say about this. Like, oh my god, like I probably think they weren't going to get married, but they have. What will this result into? Oh my god. Yeah, that's all. That's my update. Hi, this is the update, y'all. Okay, basically what has happened is that they went to the house because it was like their wedding night. They were supposed to do things if they were like a normal married couple, and like Cordelia couldn't ask Lisa to go and like get her out of her dress because it would mean that she's not with James doing stuff, you know. So like she asks James to unbutton her dress, and basically he starts doing it, and it's a very awkward situation. I was like, what the fuck? They were both being so awkward, and finally James is like, go out of here, and I was like, shut up. Although like the house is amazing, I love the house, how they describe it. I think it's like amazing. They have to go to a party. We have a bit of Ariadne's point of view. Basically, she asks Anna to go and dance with her, and Anna goes with her into a talk room and they do stuff. But then Anna says that she doesn't love Ariadne, which I know isn't true because I know Anna, but it was like, Anna, don't say that. Then there's like a rough moment between Charles and Alastair, and Cordelia sees that and goes up to them and says to Charles, you shouldn't be with my brother, go out, whatever. I highlighted something that Alastair says because like Charles says like, does your sister have to go and defend you? And then Charles says, Alastair, only a coward needs to be rescued by his little sister. And then Alastair says, and only an ass puts other people into situations in which they need to be rescued at all. We love Alastair, as you can see. And then they go back home, I think. We had a flashback from Grace again. We had also a part of Lucy and Jessie. Basically, Lucy isn't in the party. She's in her house, and then Jessie appears basically and starts reading a part of The Beautiful Cordelia, in which basically a character that it's like inspired by Lucy, that's Lucinda or something like that, and a character that's inspired by Jessie because he has like black hair, green eyes, and he's a ghost, and they like end up together or something like that. And she says, I don't care that you're a ghost or whatever. And then Jessie reads that and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't want you to love me like that or something like that. No, please, I love you both. So that's all I read for now. Now we are in chapter 8. The next illustration is going to be Lucy. It's so pretty actually. Lucy, then Ariadne, no. I say Ariadne because it's how it's pronounced in Spanish, but I guess it's Ariadne or something like that. Ariadne. I don't know. Well, thank you. so this is the update of the day. Basically what has happened important is that like Elias Carter's has died, one of the attacks. Kinda sad for Cordelia and for Alastor. Not the fact that Elias has died, because I don't like Elias. And so like Cordelia and James had a fight. Cordelia goes with her mother and her brother to like go and sleep in their house and that stuff, and then James stays in their house. And then the next morning Matthew and Cordelia go to visit Wyland and Smith to like repair Cortana because it has been burning Cordelia, and like Wyland Smith fixes it. And then while this is all happening, Grace goes and visits James and like they kiss, because basically Grace commands him, and he said, yeah, they stop kissing, and like Grace says, I know that this kiss wasn't for me or something like that. I was like, yeah, it was for fucking Daisy. I like Grace, but yeah, I don't like Grace and James. Mary Thieves and Lucy and Anna go all to James and Cordelia's house to like talk about the situation that James thinks he's a killer and that stuff. And Cordelia and Matthew go back, and James explains the situation to her, and like she says, okay, we're going to watch you while you're sleeping to see if you're the killer and you're being possessed by Belial and that stuff. So like Cordelia is the one that's taking care of James, and she's looking at him while he's sleeping. Before he sleeps, he says like, I kissed Grace today, and I was like, no, just don't. And Cordelia was like, well, now you owe me something. And she says like, I want to kiss you. And James was like, what the actual fuck? And Cordelia is like, yeah, because if I have a husband in the future, he will expect me to know how to kiss somebody because I'm been married to you. Jamie says, okay, let's do it. And they like fully make out, like fully, like. And Cordelia just stops and like, yeah, thank you for teaching me. And I'm like, queen behavior. And then like Thomas decides to say, I'm going to go on patrol to save everybody. I love Thomas, but he's like, let's save everybody. And it's like, no, stop it. And so yeah, he's like, they're patrolling that stuff. And then he finds that someone else has died, and they think he's a killer because they find him there, and they bring him to the institute, and like everybody goes there like, what's happening, why do you think that Thomas is a killer? And they explain the situation, and then it kind of looks Thomas could be the killer. Obviously he isn't, because but then like Alastor appears and he's like, he's not a killer, and I saw everything because I've been following Thomas because I know he's been patrolling alone, so I wanted to watch on him to like make sure he's safe. And so Charlotte decides to lock them both together until the mortal sword can be used. Basically, that's kind of what has happened, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? It's so cool. It's not so cool, but it's like, wow. It's so wow. And Alastor and Thomas, boyfriends. So yeah, thank you. Alastor and Thomas kissed. Hi. So, well, I just like forget to keep updating this. Basically, I just finished Chain of Iron. There's some things to comment. The last clip I put is Alastor and Thomas kissed, and a lot has happened since that. So yeah, I'm going to go through my annotations basically. First of all, the encounter between Christopher and Grace, I ship them so much, so yeah. Then Tatiana being annoying basically, and then obviously when they judge Thomas and they decide that he's innocent, and then when Belial possesses Jesse, they discover all of that, and like, and Lilith is controlling Cordelia all alone. Oh my god. And then like they manage to take out Belial of Jesse, and they manage to weaken, I don't know how to say it, Belial and Lilith, and they go to their worlds or whatever. And then like we know that Lucy has resurrected Jesse by commanding him. The bracelet has broken, so James is now aware that Grace was controlling him and all of that. And then Grace is going and visits James, and he's very mad. And he says like, I broke off my engagement with Charles, I want to marry you, whatever. And he says, thank God. And then he says that this is not a lie anymore, I hate you. They like fight. Basically, James is very mad at Grace. Grace kinda understands it, but Cordelia hears that, and like James had told her, go wait in your room, I want to talk to you about my feelings and that stuff. And she hears that and she runs away, goes to Matthew's flat, and they go to Paris. Honestly, I'm not that mad about that because I knew something like that was going to come, because Matthew also confesses his feelings for Cordelia, and I knew that among the lines of that was going to come because of my instincts, I guess. So first of all that. Second of all, they go to Paris. Third of all, Alastair tells Thomas to like not talk to him because he's a bad influence or something like that, and that he doesn't want to be like something bad in Thomas's life. And I'm like, stop it. No. Anna and Ariadne stop seeing each other basically because Ariadne says she doesn't want to keep this. I was like, no. And then like Lucy, when she resurrects Jesse by commanding him, she gets so weakened that like we don't know what's happened to her. And like basic her, Jesse and Malcolm have gone. Like James finds out that Matthew and Cordelia have going to Paris. He wants to go talk to Cordelia to tell her, no, basically I'm not in love with Grace, I'm in love with you, that stuff. And Will Herondale appears and tells him that they have to go to find Lucy. So yeah, that's a lot of things that had happened. I'm not mad at the ending. Like, I'm mad, but not that mad. Because I don't know, like, I expected something bad. And I guess it didn't surprise me that much. I don't know why. Because it's like, what about a plot twist? So, yeah, we have to wait 1 year, more than 1 year, 1 year and 4 months, till Chain of Thorns comes out. So until then, we'll be like, I don't know, rereading Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. Yeah, it was kinda, what the fuck, a roller coaster of a book, I must say. I made some annotations at the ending. Basically, like, Tatiana and Julia have gone again with their, like, madness. Tatiana has escaped. What the fuck? At the end I put, like, are they dating? Tati plus Julia equal heart. I don't know. I really like this book. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I really liked it, and it was very interesting and very good, I think. So yeah, I'm probably going to buy this edition for Chain of Gold to have them matching. Hashtag like, I told you this because why not? And yeah, I cut my hair. That's all. Thank you for watching. Hola, ¿qué tal? Vamos a estar hablando ahora de Chain of Iron. Hashtag unpopular opinion, pero no estuve tan desenfadada por el final como mucha otra gente. Os voy a explicar mi razonamiento para no estar tan desenfadada, porque sé que es un final bastante de Dios mío, ¿sabes? Vale, para empezar, James no es mi personaje favorito. Y luego está el hecho de que Matthew sí que es de mis personajes favoritos. No sipeo para nada Cordelia y Matthew, en plan, no, Cordelia y James sí, pero me importa mucho que Matthew sea feliz. Que este libro termine con haciendo algo que Matthew quiere hacer, excluyendo el hecho de que él sabe que Cordelia no quiere estar con él y todo eso, y además sabiendo que Cordelia le ha pedido, vale, si voy contigo no puedes beber. Sinceramente es algo que me parece muy importante y me parece muy bueno del final. Cosas que no son tan buenas del final. El resto, ¿vale? El resto hay que admitir que es un poco una mierda. En plan, de todas las parejas están rotas, Alastair y Thomas, eso nos dolió a todos un poquito. O sea, un poquito no, a mí me dolió bastante porque básicamente Alastair Caster le encanta culparse por las cosas que no son su culpa, igual que Cordelia. A ver, lo de Alastair sí que era un poco más su culpa, pero literalmente no es consciente que la gente puede cambiar. Tú también puedes cambiar. Sabes que Jim ya has cambiado, o sea, puedes superar las cosas. ¿sabes? Ya has hablado con Tomás sobre esto. Luego, también se ha roto Ana y Ariadne, te juro que ese momento yo estaba en plan, no, that's not okay. A ver, para empezar, amamos a Ana, o sea, eso, para empezarlo, o sea, Ana es mi personaje favorito, literalmente, en plan de Here for the Queer, pero literalmente es como, hay veces que me estaba poniendo nerviosa en plan de Ana, sí que está dolida, pero vamos a mirarlo objetivamente, ¿vale? Cuando Ariadne y Ana tienen ahí su rollete, es una one night thing, o sea, ellas se iban conociendo desde hacía un poco tiempo, pero sí el rollete y que la dejase y eso, en plan, vale, les rompe el corazón, está muy feo, pero en plan, no es como que, vale, hemos estado viéndonos durante años, no, en plan, no estoy diciendo que sea exagerada, pero es como, you know what I mean. Entonces creo que debería perdonar a Ariadne. Sinceramente, Ariadne la ha demostrado que es con ella y que la quiere y eso. Y Ana, no hagas sufrir a la gente, en plan de, no, ese dato, ese hecho es muy guay. Tercer hecho, Jessie y Lucy es como, tiene pinta que va a terminar mejor. Me parecería imposible que matasen a Lucy sin decirlo. Se ha caído al suelo, no sé qué, acaba el libro. Ay, tenemos que ir a por Lucy. No la han matado, obvio. Es que no la van a matar, o sea, me parecería bastante difícil que matasen a Lucy. Jessie y Lucy van a ser felices, espero. Es verdad que Necromancy y todo eso es algo con lo que no debemos jugar, porque no es algo chachi, no es algo que mole. Es algo que a Cassandra le gusta explorar mucho, siempre. Pero dejadles en paz, ¿vale? Dejadles ser felices. Esperemos que dejéis a Lucy, al menos a Lucy, a Jessie ser felices. Y luego el tema de Cordelia y James, pues es que es miscommunication. Dejad de blaming Grace, de verdad. No culpéis todo el rato a Grace, ¿vale? Pero decir por qué. Sinceramente, haceros una idea. Tú estabas viviendo ahí tan tranquila con tu familia, tal, te chill, y de repente tus padres se mueren y en vez de irte a vivir con tus tíos, te vas a vivir con una señora que está loca, que tiene un hijo, su hijo tiene casi 7 años, ¿vale? Es una señora que es amargada, que no quiere salir de su casa, que no tiene relación con más gente aparte. Entonces tú toda tu vida tienes relación solo con tu hermano y con tu madre. Esta señora te hace un trato con un demonio para que tengas un poder. Tú estás ahí de chill. Yo no he pedido nunca este poder de poder controlar a los hombres. Te enseña a tu madre cómo usar el poder, puedes conseguir todo. Igualmente tú no querías ese poder, ese principio, pero ya te vas acostumbrando a él. Es difícil vivir sin él. Y entonces, aparte de eso, luego se muere tu hermano, que es la única persona que te entendía, porque tu madre es una manipuladora. Ha hecho tratos con demonios para ponerte poderes extraños que tú no has pedido. Y entonces tú vives ahora sola con tu madre y con tu hermano, que solo ves la mitad del día porque es un fantasma. Y entonces tu madre, que es la única persona que te cuida, que si no estás con tu madre, sinceramente no puedes tener una casa porque tienes 10 años. Pensemos eso por un momento. Estás siendo manipulada por tu madre todo el rato. Entonces tienes que hacerle caso porque es tu madre. No puedes. O sea, no tienes el privilegio de no hacerle caso. Y entonces ella te pide que enamores a este pibe porque lo necesitas para resucitar a tu hermano, que es la única persona que quieres de verdad. Sinceramente, una vez expuesta así la situación, deja de culpar a Grace por todo lo que sucede en esta saga, porque literalmente es culpa de Tatiana. Es culpa de Tatiana, como más evidentemente. Si os habéis leído solo Chain of Gold, acepto eso. En plan, aceptamos que os metáis con Grace. Pero si no, si os habéis leído Chain of Iron y seguís metiendo en plan mazo con Grace, no. Esa es mi reflexión sobre Grace. Me gusta como personaje, sinceramente me cae bien. I don't have a problem with her. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say today. Que os dejéis de meter con Grace, ¿vale? Estanead a Ana, estanead a Matthew, estaneemos a Cordelia, siempre Cordelia. Pero no nos pasemos con culpar a Grace de todo. Estanead a Lucy, por supuesto, estanead a Last, estanead a todos, excepto Tatiana. Tatiana da asco. Y Charles también, pero especialmente Tatiana. Eso es todo por hoy. Muchas gracias por venir a mi tiempo.